Hey everyone, how are you tonight? This is Dr. Jeff Horowitz, and I am live from Conway, South Carolina, the booming metropolis. It's Wednesday night. I've got my cocktail, and that means it is time for Humpday Happy Hour with Dentist in the Know. This is your backstage pass for current trends, politics, and education in the dental world. We are live. And tonight we are over a Tito's and cranberry. Not sure what my comrades are going to be drinking tonight, but I don't know. I was kind of in the mood for one, getting over my little illness. Things going pretty well at the office. So I feel like I'm kind of getting back in the grind. So anyway, excited to talk with my amigos today. And those amigos are some of the best people in the dental profession. One of them is still working out his microphone issues, but I shall bring on the other, Dr. Jennifer Bell. Here she is, and her microphone works.
Is it working?
It is working beautifully.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Are you? Were you just showing chest? Is that what you were just doing? Like you
Just
you
my
got
tan.
on?
Just my
Yeah.
tan.
Very
from
nice.
being in Aruba.
Yes, you guys got to go to Aruba.
It was
Tell us about that.
warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really the weather. I mean, the dental conference was awesome, but the weather is definitely something to write home about. 80 degrees every day, beautiful
That's
sun.
Aruba. Dry and sunny every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
The water was the perfect temperature, not too chilly for those of us coming from cold climates. We're like, ooh, it just spot on.
And I wasn't there, so thanks for rubbing that in. I appreciate that.
So let's get to the real, United States news. Who are you cheering for on Sunday?
Okay.
Okay.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I cannot stand the Philadelphia Eagles because I'm a Giants fan.
Right. Clearly.
But I think the Eagles are gonna win.
Oh.
And I think that the differentiator is the guy that the Giants were dumb enough to let go, Saquon Barkley.
Here we go.
Yeah, Saquon is going to be.
Yeah.
You know what? Philadelphia has just been on a roll like I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
And, the only thing that could save Kansas City is the Taylor effect. And you know what? I think that's running out too. Just my opinion.
She did not get as many TV pops.
The
last couple games.
Yeah. Plus, I think everyone's just tired of Kansas City. On any other day, I think I'd be pulling for Kansas City just because I hate the Eagles so much. I just think it's their year. I think Saquon really he completed, he completed what they needed. He just built a ground game around their passing game, and now I don't think they're beatable. I don't. I think they take it all.
So
DINKs wager?
Yeah, I think that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
Also, can I just impart a little bit of information? So, my classmate, Mike Morton, who was on the show, played
the referee.
NFL. He's umping.
Is he really?
For the Super Bowl.
Oh,
so he's going to make history. And I bet they talk about him. He's going to make history because he'll now be the only player ever to have won a Super Bowl and then to have umped or refed in a Super Bowl. There was one other gentleman that played in a Super Bowl, didn't win, and now he's an ump or ref for a Super Bowl. So he gets some accolade, but Mike actually won the Super Bowl with the Rams, and now he's going to be umping this Super Bowl. So families also
how many Super Bowls have the Rams won? What? The luck of
just
being
the one, maybe,
Rams.
Maybe the one.
Yeah. So, but that's so cool. I'm really excited. Yeah. Maybe we can get him on shortly after to kind of talk about the experience. I think
I'd love to hear his experience, especially because now he can compare it from what's it like to go as a player. There's obviously pressure, right, when you're playing, and there's a lot of money on the line. And then what's it like to go as an ump? Because there's an equal amount of pressure, frankly. I think, because he has to get it right. And when he was on, he talked about how, it's kind of funny. I think dentists think that we live in this very we're our own worst critics. We go home every night and play Monday morning quarterback. Like, what should I have done differently? How would you have treated this case differently? He has to sit in a meeting and get critiqued and judged on a weekly basis on his performance. So it would be like you and, the three
Sounds
of
like
us.
dental school.
Yeah, worse, because
Yeah.
you're a top level performer. So it would be like going and doing a crown prep and then somebody recording it and then sitting with John Coyce, Frank Spear, Pankey, and Dawson all sitting in one room going, you really could have hit that line angle a little bit differently.
Yeah. And what's funny is that in this event, probably one of the most viewed spectator sports in the entire world, you literally have the world judging you on top of all of your colleagues. Yeah. So
like yelling at you, throwing Doritos at the the TV.
Yeah, like some people, like he could get death threats.
He could.
That could happen. I hope not. I'm not wishing that on anybody.
He won't. But yeah, I mean, it's high pressure. I mean, we talk about high pressure in dentistry, but I mean, that is high pressure.
And then what if the mob gets to him and they're like, "Hey, can you push a little something our way?" What if that happens?
Well, we'll know when Philadelphia wins that's what happened.
We're really delving into the world of hypotheticals. Anyway, Dr. Chad Duplantis has finally graced us
with
with
sound. I don't know.
Do you have sound,
I do have
Chad?
sound, thankfully. So, just new settings. Does my mic sound okay?
No.
Sounds
like shit, actually.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Yeah, and you look like shit too. What's going on, Chad? Everything okay?
Y'all are really pissing me off. However, I came back from Mexico and Aruba with some sort of virus that's been
like
going
everybody in the United States has had,
being passed from upper left to upper right to lower middle, and now to the one in the other room that now has it. But honestly, I can say that over the past couple of weeks, we did Ada in Cancun, and then JB and I were in Aruba this past weekend, and I've come back with kind of this new sense of energy. So, this is what education does to you. So can I tell you just a couple quick stories?
Yeah, my news sucks tonight, so let's go.
Okay, good. So here we go.
Yeah, and apparently we have a guest that might be MIA so far. So if he doesn't check in, you can tell as many stories as you want, Dad.
So anyhow, here's the deal on our guest. So our guest spoke 2 weeks ago in Cancun or Tulum, I should say. And he spoke on artificial intelligence in dentistry. And so when we think of artificial intelligence in dentistry, I think everybody thinks of Pearl and Overjet and, all of the AI that's helping us detect caries. I mean, let's face it, it detects a number of other things, but everybody wants the caries detection, right? So we think about that. Well, my office manager and several of my team members sat in on his presentation. And on Monday, literally Monday, we always say, what are you going to take back to the office on Monday? She comes up to me and says, I just wrote 3 insurance rebuttals utilizing AI, and I'm telling you, they were fantastic. She has been so proud of herself because she's written financial arrangement forms. She's written insurance rebuttals. Today, we had PerioProtect. PerioProtect, they don't pay anything on PerioProtect, right? It's just kind of a, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to file it with insurance, but they aren't going to pay anything. She used AI to write this insurance request for review, and oh my gosh, it's just astounding. And
Well, now
so,
you have to update us on whether or not it
Yeah.
gets paid.
Right.
well, let me tell you something. I've always credited myself on being pretty damn good at writing requests for review. She's gotten much better over the past week, and it's phenomenal. And I've been utilizing it for a lot of things. I have a freshman in college, and so when she asks me to review a paper, the first thing I do is put it through AI and say, "Hey, how does this look?" And so, um, you know, she's not using it for her papers. Let me just go ahead and use
Yeah,
that as a
please put that
disclaimer.
out in the ether, please.
Yeah, I just want to make that clear that AI is not writing her papers, but for me to understand some of the topics that she's writing on and for me to help her, I'm using AI to help me
Yeah,
interpret it.
that's it. Yeah.
And it's really, really been a fantastic tool. So I was very proud of my team. But okay, so fast forward, we go to Aruba, and there was this
Rub that
buzz
in one more
around.
time, by the way.
Well, we don't have a guest, so this might be all you get, right? So anyhow, we go to Aruba, and there's this big buzz around digital dentistry and 3D printing. So I come home and I'm like, damn it, I'm gonna do some things that I've never done before. So yesterday,
Quality dentistry.
Kiss a
Diagnos-
girl. Kiss a girl.
yeah, I kissed a girl and I did quality dentistry. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw
Knocked
it out
it.
there. All right,
Right out of the park.
Dolly, damn it, where are you? No, so anyhow, I Monday morning, I'm like, I'm gonna duplicate this denture. This lady's got a locator denture that needs to be replaced, and I don't want her to be without her denture. I usually use their current denture for impressions.
This is the case I talked about.
I pour up models, and I wasn't even in your presentation for the most part. But anyways,
Don't say that.
I use their denture, I pour up models, I mount it. I have the patient's denture for 4 to 5 hours. I had the patient's denture for 3 minutes. Printed it in surgical guide material. Boom. It's beautiful. I'm so excited for her to come back and me to take her final impressions. So I printed her upper denture, I printed her lower denture, I put them in occlusion. I'm going to send it off to the lab, and I should get a wax up back. I mean, they could probably go to completion because everything's going to be spot on when I send it to the lab, because it just makes life so much easier. And then I started using Exocad this afternoon, and I created a 4-unit bridge, and I created a freaking night guard. And I'm like, I'm on cloud 9. I'm like, and I'm a digital guy, but this is stuff that I usually farm out and then I print. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't I take that extra step and do it myself, and then I'll print it myself? And damn it, it feels good.
I am somebody.
I am
Yes.
somebody. My name in print.
That's right.
I am
That's
so
The new
Proud
phone book's here.
jazz.
The new phone book's here.
The new phone book is
Naven
here.
or Johnson.
Naven.
So listen, guys, I didn't even finish my intro tonight, which is okay. Because we ended up
y'all
getting
asked me. I just carried on.
no. That's okay.
We don't have much of an agenda, so it's fine. Carry
No,
on.
and yeah, I mean, I didn't get to do the whole. We are all dentists, we are all business owners, and we are all educators, and our job is to bring all of you in the know. But I just did it, so now we're okay. So,
We are okay.
anywho, right, it's like sanctioned now.
Yeah.
Like this is fully sanctioned. So, Chad, you had another story as well.
I did.
You said you did. You said you had a lot of stories.
Hey guys,
Well,
can I
I
bring
told
just a
the two.
small
I told the
thing
two stories,
to
the AI
attention?
story and the 3D printing story, but I'm going to let JB talk about, well, I think we need to talk about Cancun or Tulum and Aruba, because did you all talk about Tulum last week?
Yeah.
A little bit, not that much. We talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Should
We
we go
also-
back into it a little bit?
We also talked about the fact that that next year the ADA meeting will be in Los Cabos, which everyone is so excited about.
I am excited. I've never
yeah.
been.
Yeah, and we are going to we're actually going to be, for dentists in the know, we're going to be in the next 2 weeks. We're going to be releasing some special pricing only for dentists in the know. The only people that will get better pricing are people who are already members of ADA.
Yeah, or we're
That
in Tulum. Yeah.
Right, that were in
Mhm.
Tulum, but other than that, no one else will get the kind of pricing. And for anyone who is in Tulum, what a phenomenal meeting! And next year looks to be even better, and just in a killer resort in Los
I
Cabos, which
can't
I
wait.
am very excited about.
So, Jeff, I have a
Cannot.
question for you and JB. I don't know if you can answer this
And
because you may not be
before
old
you
enough to
say this,
understand.
Chad, before you say this, because I want to hear this question. The DINKs Invitational, second annual DINKs Invitational golf tournament will happen next year in Los Cabos.
But we might not
Second
be handing
annual.
out awards at the final ceremony.
Yeah, we got in trouble for that. I can't.
Trouble is a strong word.
Yeah.
So hey, but Jeff, I'm going to ask this question. I think that the Dinks Invitational ought to include something else in Cabo, and you and I are of age that you will know exactly what I'm talking about.
You're going
To
to
I
kiss
do
a
think we
girl?
all need to
colonoscopies?
go down to
Cabo Wabo?
yes. He
What's
got
Cabo
it.
Wabo?
Oh, Sammy
Did you
Hagar,
say
baby.
what's Cabo Wabo?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
All
did.
right, so here's a little trivia for you, JB. Who is
Okay.
Sammy Hagar?
Sammy Hagar.
He was the lead singer of, oh my gosh. Hold on. Don't tell me.
Second
I
lead
do
singer
know.
of Van Halen.
Yeah, Van Halen.
Second.
Right, but before that, he couldn't drive 55. However, one of his it was Let's All Go Down to Cabo Wabo. That was a 5150 song, wasn't it, Jeff?
Yep.
Yeah. So Cabo Wabo is Sammy Hagar's cantina in
I see.
downtown Cabo.
Which we
I
shall be
see.
attending for sure.
Yeah, and by
Hmm.
the way, Cabo Wabo tequila is actually pretty freaking fantastic.
Making a note, mental note.
Yes, mental note.
And yeah, for a while with the tariffs, I thought we were gonna have to get some of that, because I'm not sure that it's produced in Mexico. I think we could have gotten that one a little bit cheaper.
Well, here's a
Mm.
little unknown, maybe a little. I don't know if it's known or unknown, but in order to be called tequila, it has to be produced in Mexico. There's a
I don't know about that anymore, because it was like bourbon had to be made in Kentucky for a while, and
Yeah.
since 1964 or 72, it hasn't.
yeah. I think that's one of the things that we'll have lost. And even though, like, you're not supposed to call champagne if it's not in the Reims
Right.
region of France, then I think we're gonna see lots of tequilas that say I'd rather ask forgiveness than permission.
The rules are different now. It's Gulf of America.
So
there are no
That's
rules
fine.
anymore.
the way that you denote where a tequila is from is every tequila has a social security number, basically, and it's the NOM on the back of it. And I happen to know this for a fact that Patron's is 1492. And if you look at the back of several tequilas, I don't want to name names, but they will have the same NOM, which is Nombre Oficiado Manufacturado or whatever, but it's where it's manufactured in Mexico and the agave, where the agave comes from. And so there's a NOM number, NOM. And like I said, Patron's is 1492, and that's the only bottle you'll ever see 1492 on. However, there are several tequilas that may be good brands, bad brands, whatever. And if you look at the back, they'll have the same NOM. That's a law that they have to publish their NOM. So for instance, like there's a very good tequila that I would like to, I'm not going to say by name, I'm not even going to describe the bottle, but it's very unique if you catch my drift. And that NOM might be published on the back of another bottle that might be about a third or a fourth of the price.
Right, right.
saying.
I hear you.
So it's all where it's manufactured. It's very, very interesting when you start looking into the history and the manufacturing of tequilas. And so,
You know
but
what's funny? I
there's
did a big tequila tasting at the week before I met y'all in Tulum. I was in Cancun for my cousin's wedding, and at the resort, they actually had a tequila sommelier, if that's a thing. And they went through a lot of the history, and we tasted all these great tequilas. The problem is that by the time you get through your fourth tequila, you don't
you're
remember shit
shit-faced.
of what they
Yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of like a bourbon tasting for me,
Yeah,
Jeff.
yeah.
Oh,
So it was all good information, and then I just forgot it.
oh, hey. By the way, just a little kudos to Jennifer's husband. He found the mother lode of bourbon.
Okay.
If anybody ever needs Blanton's or
It's in
Eagle
the
Rare
Cancun airport.
or Sazerac Rye or whatever you want, Aruba has it all. Like when we went into the Aruba airport, if I wanted 60 bottles of Blanton's, I could have left the Aruba airport with 60 freaking bottles of
In
Blanton's.
fairness, in Cancun, it was half the price.
Right.
Yes.
I was
We
gonna
actually
say,
did come home with Blanton's from Cancun, but it was $60 instead
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
$130 in
and you
Aruba.
ain't coming home with it all duty free. You get 4
Yeah.
bottles, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, of course. So I bought a bottle of Blanton's, $130 in Tulum, which I was like, I'll pay it because I can
You
rarely
can't
find
get it here.
Yeah.
And then I bought a bottle of Eagle Rare. Now Eagle Rare was what, 42?
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
Eagle Rare 10-year was $42. Sazerac was $42. I mean, they had some bourbons that you can't find anywhere.
Yeah.
But the Blanton's,
You guys don't have DJ.
I know. Jeff, I need to have a talk with you about that because I do need some EH Kernel.
Okay.
Oh, yes. EH Colonel. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Jeff, please.
Or Weller.
I
Or
will get
Weller.
Oh, I can get Weller all day long. He
Oh.
offers me Weller all the time.
Okay, 2 bottles of EH Kernel and 2 bottles of Weller for Chicago. And I'm talking the big bottle of Weller.
Which Weller?
The
Green.
one.
The green one. Whatever that is.
All right.
So, and also I started doing some research on Blanton's and I'm getting close. I could have gotten all the letters in Mexico or in Aruba, but when you get all the letters, you send them into Buffalo Trace and they'll mount them for you.
I know. Yep.
So that's my goal now.
But we all got to have goals.
Yeah, I was gonna say
right.
it's whatever it takes to motivate you, Chad.
Yeah,
Whatever
mine
it
is to
takes.
retire, but you just go ahead and get your letters.
You know,
You collecting globes now too?
Snow globes.
Actually, I am.
Oh!
Why did
Joke's
I
on
know
us.
this? How
Joke's
did I
on
know
us.
this without even
Okay,
seeing?
really quick, Jeff. We don't know what Chad's pick is for this weekend.
Oh yeah, let's hear it. Everyone heard my pick. Who's your pick this weekend?
I heard your pick. I did not hear JB's, but I will have to say I'm very sorry to our friend the referee that I believe the NFL has it in them that the Chiefs will win regardless of how well each team plays. Sorry.
Oh,
There's a lot of talk about this, about
cheaters.
yes,
I did not
about
say that.
Referee bias towards the Chiefs.
Well,
Yep.
he's an umpire. It's actually different. Umpires play a very different role than the true refs.
But I will say that I mean, Patrick Mahomes, I think, is a very fine young man. I think he's a great kid. I mean, I think Jalen Hurts is too. I think he leads his team well. I think that there's too much on the line for the Chiefs to lose. I'm calling the Chiefs. Let's take the refs out of the equation. I'll call the Chiefs. I just think that they're a team that over the past several years, they can't lose.
Yeah.
They can't lose. I mean, they were like the Brady. Remember that year that they were like, "Oh, the Patriots don't have it this year. They started off so horribly, and then all of a sudden Brady just picked it up and they just kicked
Yeah.
everybody's ass and won the Super Bowl." That's how the Patriots started every year. And the Chiefs, I don't know, man. They're good. They're good. And I'd take Andy Reid as our coach. I sure as hell would take him over Brian Schottenheimer.
Mhm.
And yes, I
Mm.
did say that, Jerry Jones. I
Yeah.
said I would take
Oh,
Andy
is he
Reid
coming to
over
get
Brian
you?
Schottenheimer.
It's gonna hunt
Yeah.
you down.
Yeah. 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 I mean, everybody's calling him out. I mean, what a glorious show we're living in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It can't be any worse than the New York metropolitan area. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
hey, I'm also
JB,
gonna
what's your
say-
pick?
Oh, she didn't give it yet?
I
just caught
also
it on
have to
yours.
go with the Chiefs. I don't know. I feel like there's momentum in that. I also think it's a story. I think it's gonna play out.
Okay. So I think we need some
Wait,
kind of a
who's halftime entertainment this year?
Kendrick
Oh.
Lamar.
Yeah, it is Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar.
Mm,
And I also just read today that I find interesting that he's not getting paid for the halftime
Why?
show.
How's that?
I don't know. I didn't read the whole article. I just read that there was a big deal about him not getting paid. Now, I guarantee you the NFL is pumping millions into his whatever
Show.
his choreography and
Yeah.
artwork and all that other crap is.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
So I think we need a little Dinks wager that everybody can kind of chime in on here. Like,
I will
I don't
bet
know.
you a bottle of Weller and EH Colonel that the Chiefs will win.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
All right. So that's done
What are you
on
gonna
that
bet me
front.
that I have to bring you to Chicago, brother? Whatever you want. Name it.
If he could get it, he's betting things. He's writing checks he actually can't cash.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I might have to think on that one, my brother. Yeah, I'm gonna think on that, but you know, it could be a bottle of Elmer T. Lee. I might make you chase it down
Okay.
because DJ doesn't get that every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You might have to fly back to Aruba to get it.
They didn't have
But-
it.
Did
Yeah.
you ever hear, speaking of bets on games, so Jacob, the guy that won the golf tournament in Mexico, he and I bet
Mhm.
on the Georgia-Texas game, and we bet a bottle of bourbon or a bottle of tequila. And so, of course, Georgia beat Texas in the regular season, so I ended up ponying up. So I ordered him a bottle of Woodford Reserve. However, you were able to customize the picture on it. So I put a customized picture of a Texas Longhorn on the back of it and had
That's awesome.
Hook'em written on it. And I sent it to him. So we both won in that situation.
So I just watched the 1883 series, the prequel to
So
Yellowstone.
fantastic.
So
Oh,
good.
It was so good. Like, I don't know, Jenny didn't love it, but I really liked it. Like, I love
It's
a
because the
prequel.
young girl's accent is a little bit. It's a little much.
It's a
to
little
take.
thick. It's a little thick,
Yeah.
but she's easy on the eyes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I will say that I really enjoyed it. And I saw so many Texas Longhorns in that series that I was like, I'm excited for Chad right now. He's probably loving this. Chad is
Dude.
probably, yeah.
So
He's probably looking at this and he's probably watching this in the bathroom like he had a Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
Hey, so by the way, guys, a lot of the mercantile and whatnot scenes in 1883 were filmed in the Fort Worth stockyards.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
And so I'd love to, next time you guys are in town, take you guys down there and take you to our favorite restaurant down there and let you see kind of what it looks like. But it's
Can we
amazing
reenact
because-
it?
Well, no, but the thing is that you can go down there today and you could see if they came and dumped dirt, that it still would look like it did, and it's been very, very well preserved and well done down there. So
That's
I was
awesome.
I was there for, I can't remember what meeting I was at, and we actually had a trip to the Fort Worth stockyards. And you know the old saying, I must have stepped in a pile of shit.
yeah,
I literally stepped in a pile of bullshit at the Fort
yep,
Worth stockyards.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. There's always somebody down there with a live longhorn that's taking pictures of people on it and whatnot, and so there's a lot of it. And every day at 10 and 4, there's actually a cattle drive through the stockyard. So that's not surprising, Jeff.
Yeah, yeah. I did step in bullshit there. Yeah.
What are you laughing at, JB?
Partha just sent me a text. Nothing
Oh,
at all.
okay. Well, that's good.
He
You know,
he wants
why
us
don't
to come to Fort Worth.
I think that would be a fantastic deal. We'll let Jeff step in. You know what? Again,
No, I've done that once. That is a very overrated experience.
well, I'm gonna have to go ahead and apologize. Honestly, our guest is tonight is one of our favorite people in the industry, and I know that he wouldn't have missed uh, because he wanted to. I know that there's something that must have come up, so I apologize, but just want to say, Mike, we love you. We'll have you back. We'll do it again. JB, if do you want to do some news, and then
I would love
we
to.
can certainly talk AI and kind of what it means to dentistry.
Yeah,
if
for
you'd
sure.
Like to. All right.
All right, JB, you gonna do some news?
Yeah, I have two stories, so we'll wrap it up quickly. So the first is a follow-up to a story that we had talked about just a few weeks ago about how there was movement in the Consumer Protection Bureau to remove medical debt from credit reports. And we talked about the pros and cons. Obviously, the pro being that, you number one, HIPAA compliant, you would be protected from, if you went and bought a car, that person selling you the car wouldn't know that you had medical debt or had a medical issue. Also, because medical debt is kind of a controversial topic over right to medical services, et cetera, it might protect consumers to be able to continue to live a semi-normal life. On the flip side, though, and certainly as dentists and as doctors, the downside of that would be that then that debt would no longer really be able to be serviced. So, for instance, if it wasn't seen on a credit report, if you filed that debt to a collection agency to collect that money that you were due for services rendered, that would never show up on their credit report. So there would be pretty much no penalty to the consumer for taking out medical debt without restraint. So a very interesting, controversial topic. I will say that with the new administration in place, I don't see that that will continue. The head of the Consumer Protection Bureau was removed from position. So I think a lot of that particular story is in flux of whether or not medical debt will show up on a consumer report, credit report for consumers. So TBD on that particular issue, but just so you know, that's not been fully settled yet. We talked about it a few weeks ago as a seemingly settled new regulatory issue, but I would now probably suspect that it is in a bit of flux. Okay, last story for this evening. Washington State has been an interesting dental community for quite some time. Let me preface that by saying, in Washington State, they have a very interesting dental insurance market. In that state, 90% of dental patients are insured by Delta, which has created this very unique dynamic of what Delta can get by with and what they can't. And what they're doing in Washington State is often very different from what they're doing in many other states. Because if we're being really honest, that's a monopoly. When one insurance company insures 90% of the patients who have dental insurance in any given state, that would be the definition of a monopoly. Well, the Washington State Dental Association is firing back with some dental insurance reform. They have a couple of state bills that are up for review and for vote. Some of the key items in those bills would include mandating that a certain amount of premium dollars would be spent directly on care. That's the medical loss, dental loss ratio proportion of the bill. Allowing patients to request independent reviews of denied claims, addressing various inequities in the system, and also dealing with these kind of on-the-fly decisions being made by certain insurance companies. It would hopefully not allow insurance companies to continue to create kind of this bully mentality or pushing individuals to only go to doctors who are in network. There's some interesting things that happen when we have those scenarios. Like, for instance, as dentists, we know that many insurance companies in this scenario will only pay for half of the mouth to be cleaned on one day and the other half to be cleaned on the other day for a very specific reason. 2 claims, waiting for 2 claims of payment, and also to discourage patients from coming back for the second appointment. We know as medical providers, that's a complete disservice to not be able to treat a comprehensive patient or a comprehensive treatment for a patient in one single day. So be it. So hopefully we're going to see more of these. We've seen them kind of upticking since the Massachusetts bill that happened a few years ago, engaging against the current legislative priorities for dental insurance companies and trying to create some healthy boundaries so that patients can receive the care that they deserve, and that doctors can continue to be compensated for the care they are providing. And with that, that's the news.
So we will, as surgeons, we will be removing half of your appendix this week, the infected appendix, and we'll clean it up. Let's see how it goes. And then in 2 weeks or so, we will remove the other half of your infected appendix. How's that sound?
That sounds fantastic, but I can tell you that JB and I had a conversation last week with a Canadian dentist, and we were joking.
Was he the most polite guy you've ever met in your life?
He was really good. He was very, very polite. But we were talking about jokingly that Canada was going to become part of the United States, and we were obviously just being jovial. And I said, "I'll take your health insurance." And do you remember what he said, JB?
He said, "No, you don't want it."
He jumped my butt immediately and was like, "You will not take our health insurance." And man, he just went on and on and on. And everything that JB just described was just kind of shades of what he said. I know that's not what you were alluding to, but it was just kind of like, I mean, they're just pigeonholed into doing things that, they don't want to do, or waiting for things that they shouldn't have to wait on. And, it's
well, they won't provide care to they won't provide preventative care to the healthy. They only treat, it's become a sick insurance where they only treat the sick. And then even when you are sick, it takes months to years to get into providers or to get diagnostic services, et cetera, to validate the diagnosis. So too long. And we're not far from that, frankly. I mean, I've seen that fundamental change happen over the last 5 years, and you can feel it from your patients. And let me, since we don't have a guest, let me dive into that for a second. How do I see that manifesting in my practice? Number one, if a patient has a medical condition or a lesion on their face or something that I want them to find a dermatologist to take a peek at, 1 year it will take for them to get into dermatology for an evaluation. 1 year. The second piece of that is the disconnectedness of, I have conversations with patients, helping them interpret their lab work, helping them interpret their sleep study. Like, just hand it to me. Let me read it and let me tell you what it means. Having patients say to me, almost like, thank you for your, or I've taken too much of your time. I've taken too much of your time. Or thank you so much for spending that extra time with me to help me understand that. Why? Because patients are conditioned now that doctors don't have time for them. They don't have time to understand their conditions. They don't have time to deal or dive into what's really going on, explain their prognosis, their diagnosis, help them decide and choose pathways forward. Like dentists are really becoming unicorns in that arena. Like a very odd.
I
So
couldn't agree more.
here's a interesting um, story. Just we're all talking about this, but we talk about the medical system is kind of broken. My how old are your folks? Just roughly, Jeff.
81 and 79.
Okay, JB.
Yeah, 75 and late 60s.
Okay, so my dad's 81, but he's a very healthy 81. He's in great shape. I think he's got a lot ahead of him. He gets around pretty good for his age. I mean, he's slowed down a little bit, but he gets around pretty good. He's got uh, he had a bit of a health scare a couple weeks ago, and he's now fully on Medicare, obviously. And um, I recommended. I was like, Dad, you need to go to this person and this hospital or whatever. And he's like, I can't. And I was like, Dad, you got to figure out how to get there. He's like, no, Chad, Medicare won't pay for it. And it it really kind of bothered me, that I was like, well, Dad, just what about out of network? He's like, I I don't have that option, you know. And I think our medical system's kind of broken. I know that's where you wasn't where you're going with the story, JB, but it's really bothered me that when he said that, because that's never been a problem before. When this company was self-insured and he was able to do this and he was able to do that, but now it's like I feel almost as if it, and I asked ages because I feel almost as if that even after a certain age in the United States, they just
They
throw people
stop
out to
providing care.
pasture.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, things are going to change when you hit 75. Things are going to change
Hmm.
more when you hit 80. And we may not, it may not be verbalized to us that way, but it's certainly perceived that way by those loved ones, younger generation, i.e., myself. Like, okay, well, he's hit this age in his medical career. These people aren't accepting this. It's just bullshit.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
sorry, that was a tangent that we didn't need to go down. Sorry.
no, I think it's worthwhile, and
It's our
obviously
show. We can do
it is.
whatever we want.
Yeah,
Yeah, we do whatever the
and
hell we want.
in the sleep and TMJ practice, this is what I deal with all day
Hmm.
long. Is people who have been to physician after physician, and they can't figure out how we're able to actually sit down and explain things to them because no one else has. And not in the sleep arena, not in the neurology arena, not in the pulmonology arena. We're actually taking time to read tests, as you said, JB, and I don't claim to be a pulmonologist. I don't claim to be a neurologist, but I do claim to be a healthcare advocate,
Hmm.
and my job is to at least help them find their way or work their way through the ailment for which they have come to me for help for. And there may be a point where I say I don't have any more answers, but my job is to at least say, let's explore this. Let's go down this road. Let's go down this road. Nobody is really, even primary care physicians, the whole purpose in our system for the primary care physician is to act as the quarterback, is to be the one that is in charge of that patient's overall health and making sure that any other care that is requested is coordinated with the patient's overall care. And we're now in a society where the primary care physician does not have the time to oversee all of the care. And they are therefore not a primary care physician anymore. They are a triage physician or an emergency physician. and that's what it is morphed into. And it's really sad, and it's probably the reason that the sleep and TMJ practice is not this crazy profitable thing like, like dental practices, and we're working on it. We're getting there. We're figuring that out. But I really, my purpose in this journey is to try to help patients find coordinated care of some type, at least for the conditions that they've sought me out to try to fix.
I love that, and I think that just speaks volumes. I mean, there's your passion is what's going to continue to drive you, and that will eventually. I feel like you said I hated to hear you say it's not extremely profitable, but it will be.
Well, it's not. There's not a lot of people out there that have a track record doing the combination of services that we are. And so we're working our way through that. I'm making it work. I mean, I'm absolutely making this happen. But it's not like there are 50 experts out there that say, here are the things that you need to do to make this type of a practice more profitable. So I'm just living it through experience right now. And that's
you'll be
okay.
one of those
I'm okay with
experts
that.
teaching it down the road.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Maybe.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff, you haven't given us a construction update in like 100 days. So
construction update. Okay.
Construction update.
Yeah. New front desk that was made incorrectly the first time showed up in the sleep practice this week. When? Little fake wall that covers the electrical box, the electrical panel box that was put right in the middle of the business office. Dead smack. Like big cords coming down. They're like, no, you can't block this. You need 6 feet opening around this. And I'm like, this was not on my plan to be here. I would have totally vetoed this. I would have said, can't we put this in a closet somewhere? So little fake wall put up to cover that. Win. New carpeting in the hallways. Win. Downstairs bathrooms almost finished. Win. Hardcore on the dental office starting. Win. Yeah, I think they're wins. I think we're on wins this week.
Okay, we're on wins.
Yeah, we're on wins. Again, 2.5 years or 2 years overdue. Yes, but definitely scoring some wins right now.
For those of us out there watching, Jeff, are you practicing in this building right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
yeah, the
so
sleep practice.
That's a win.
Yeah,
that's a win.
Yeah,
Just
sleep and TMJ practices in, dental office is sharing the space. We have one more operatory than we did in my prior space where we were sharing. So one extra operatory win.
Woo!
Yeah. So and we were able to bring on another hygienist for that win.
Do you think that the biggest win will be when our DINKs friends can come join us in Conway for some education?
Teaching center's looking good. Yeah, it's looking good. I'm really excited about that. And,
win.
Yeah. Win. Yeah, lots of wins.
Win.
Mortgage payment loss.
Oh, thanks for
Loss.
going there.
Loss.
Yeah, well, 2.5 years of paying mortgage payments without any rental income. Yeah, not a great thing. Pretty tough on the disposable income
right
side. Yeah, doesn't leave a whole lot at the end of the day. but it's okay.
Not a win.
It's all going to be worth it. I'm seeing light at the end of the tunnel finally.
Can we sell peaches per pound?
Yeah,
Recoup some money. No?
Ain't nobody buying her. Maybe if we were back in the 1883 days, we could have traded her for something really good, but not going to happen now.
Dang it.
Yeah. But excited teaching center, already some programs starting to line up there. And of course, we're talking about some
I think
things
he's got a medical
between
billing
us.
program right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Candra's
Sandra,
already like we're on it.
You're in. It's done deal. Let's book it. Yeah, I'm very excited.
So
Good.
many fun things. And kind of to Chad's point, Q1 is always super crazy. There's always a ton going on coming back from the holiday break. And then, everyone's queuing up for midwinter. So there's all this compression in the industry or whatever. But man, I do feel like, Jeff, you just mentioned like 20 wins. And there's like a lot of good stuff happening. So
Yeah.
I think
I mean, I'd love a win in my pocket right now. That would be
I get
that
it.
would be a nice little win.
I get it.
Yeah. But right now they're all, they're all etherical kind of wins, but we'll take
We're getting closer to the pocket wins than we were 2 years ago.
Closer to pocket wins. Yep, for sure.
So I guess we're not really going to have an AI guest on tonight.
This is our first no-show.
No, but you know what? I think I apologize to everybody because we do utilize AI in our practices, and it's something that we wanted to talk about, and I just don't know that we were prepared to do so without our guest tonight, and we will revisit this, and we will make it happen again. So I apologize to anybody that tuned in for AI and didn't get AI. But I promise you we will have this back again. I think we owe it to Mike and Pearl to allow them to speak before we just start spouting off our take on AI.
Yeah, I
maybe
agree.
have the banner back and forth. So is there anything else we need to talk about? Because I do have one more interesting thing to say if we don't have anything else to talk about. But
we just want to hear what you have to say, Chad.
Yeah, I only come on this program to hear what you have to say.
Well, no, I mean, I know that's the case, but I just want to make sure that everybody's okay with me continue to spout my mouth.
Yeah, we'll just continue to live the delusion that you're operating in.
So I'm gonna stroke an ego here for just a second.
When Sheree was going with that, but okay.
We were in Aruba last weekend, and as we're in Aruba, we're sitting there on the beach, and JB had just arrived, and there's this young lady and her husband that are walking right by, and I kind of got made fun of because I didn't really know how to grab her attention because I was kind of in shock that I saw her there, and I was like, ma'am, excuse me, ma'am, and I mean she's probably 10 years younger than me, and so she turns towards me, and I said, were you just in Tulum last weekend? And she looks at me, she goes, yeah. She's like,
weirdo.
I was like, no, I wasn't. I just kind of figured I'd ask, but I was like, yeah, no, we were there. And she's like, oh, you were there? I was like, yeah. I was like, we were, obviously you weren't there in the last session because 2 of the 3 of us were up on stage, but that's
fine.
Cool.
It's fine.
Whatever. So I said, and it turns out her husband's got a cowboy hat on. He's got a Longhorn shirt on. So I knew damn sure they were from Texas, right? So I said, what did you think of Tulum? And she goes, I just want to say that I thought that it was amazing. I thought the education was amazing. I thought everything was amazing. She goes, and as a matter of fact, on Saturday morning or Friday morning, I walk into the classroom and I sit down and I'm really excited about the speaker. And she goes, and all of a sudden I go, oh my God. Not only have I heard this topic before, it was from the same speaker and it was in Las Colinas, Texas. She happened to be talking about our good buddy, Dr. Jeff Horowitz. And I was like, and at that point I was like, oh my God, I shouldn't have asked. I shouldn't have asked. And she goes, and then I sat there and I listened and I realized that even though he was talking about something similar, I picked up so much more the second time than I did the first. And I want to do his 2-day course again. And Jeff, as God is my witness,
That happened.
that is a true story.
Oh.
And
Well, now,
so,
I mean, now I feel bad for giving you guys a hard time about going to Aruba without me.
yeah, I will tell you,
We're just closing deals
that
for
to
you,
me
Jeff.
was one of the
This-
best compliments that you could have ever received, because
Oh.
she was, the way she presented it, I was like, oh crap, why did I ask? And then all of a sudden she just kept going on, and then it was like, and she was like, there was just more, and it was different, and she's like, maybe it was the smaller condensed time. She's like, but I took so many notes. And she said she tried to catch you afterwards. I didn't catch whether she did or didn't, but she was very thankful for the presentation, and I thought you'd enjoy closing the night with that.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
thank you.
she had no idea Chad was there.
Yeah, or you, JB.
Or me.
I just want to make that clear.
But
She
you
had
were there for
no
2 days
idea that we were
introducing
there.
different speakers, and like
Yeah, how did you fly under the radar like that?
I'm not really sure. And I said, well, not only was I there, that course that you were in of his,
I
I was
introduced you.
actually
You
the
introduced
MC,
me.
so I was up there like 3 or 4 freaking times introducing him. I was like, obviously,
You
I
have
made
a face that was
fantastic
meant to be
impression upon you.
forgotten, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, thank you for saying that. That's awfully nice. And that's why we do what we do.
That's
It's
exactly right.
yeah, we don't, everybody, I think dreams and I did at one point of being a speaker, and you think how glamorous, how much, how great it would be to make all that extra income, and then you realize by the time you put the time into preparing the lecture, the travel, the time there, and the time back, and you're like, you know what? I make more money in
Yeah.
dental practice than I do doing this, but you do it because you love it, and
That's
you
exactly
do it
right.
when you touch somebody like that, and nothing's better than that. Honestly, that was nice of you to say, and I feel good now. Wins all around today,
Guys.
Chad.
Wins all
Guys.
around. There you go.
We are 2 weeks away from Midwinter.
Nice.
And the DINKs are back on the vendor floor with our recording booth, making magic and reels and short video content with many of our friends in the industry. It was a huge buzz last year. We had so many friends come by. We had so much fun grabbing 20 minutes with everybody that came through, and just honestly, every dentist that comes by and hygienists and honestly, anyone in the industry tell you a story that, is unique and different, and you can impart wisdom or learn something from. So everybody that we put in the booth, it was a fantastic, awesome experience. So if you're at Midwinter, booth 1619, we'll have our podcasting booth there. Would love for you to come by. Yes, Partha, I'm talking to you. Come sit in the booth with us. Let us interview you for 20 minutes.
20 minutes with Partha Mukherjee.
Oh, so fancy.
I'm excited about that.
I know. So we'll be in town. Don't be a stranger, because man, that was so, you talk about Chad coming from these 2 meetings and kind of Q1 just being really energizing. Midwinter is it for us. And will we find ourselves in another shenanigan situation where we're doing races on ergonomic chairs? Nothing's really out of bounds. And thanks, Partha, for wearing pants.
Yeah, and the Schmedster is not allowed to push me on the on the dental chair race.
By
I
the
think
way,
you were
I think
supposed
this
to be
should a shout out to
self-powered.
Schmedster, because Schmedster's not going to Chicago this year.
Why?
Because we haven't really I guess, asked him to. So I think we need to make sure that Schmedster's there.
I mean, we didn't really ask him previously. He was just always there.
I don't think we. Yeah,
No,
we
I
don't-
think now he needs a special request from us, but we definitely need the Schmedster there.
I mean, we had
And
a lot
the
of
other
meal. We
thing-
broke a lot of bread together.
And here's the other thing too is I made sure to actually go out and buy some wireless lavalier mics to have in time for Chicago, just so when we're all, because we each take a little bit of time and we go and wander and go and meet some of the people, because it's really like a homecoming for us, to get to see everybody else in the industry. So I really want to be able to not only, hopefully we lure everybody into the podcast booth like we did, because we were doing interviews from the time we got there till the time we left. But I'd also like to do some cool remote stuff around the floor. And so I made sure I got
There's
my
some
wireless.
big stuff getting launched. So I think it'll be a lot, every year that's the time.
Yeah. So if you're going to Midwinter, if you're thinking about going to Midwinter, please come by and see us. If you don't go to Midwinter, watch for us. We're going to let you know what's going on. So it'll be
We'll be
fun.
bringing you
There
live
will be a
content from the
saddle chair
floor.
race
So it'll be
again.
good.
Yeah. There might be a saddle chair race again. There could be.
I think
there
they
will
want
be.
it.
There
Yeah.
will be. There will be.
And also, do you know what we have? Do you know what I have in storage still?
Oh
bunch
no,
of little
all those
whiskey bottles.
bottles.
I literally still have a full crate
Suitcase.
of mini bottles
Nice.
with our
There you go.
logo on them.
Of course.
I think they got to go back again. I think
Ship
I
it
gotta-
up there.
I
You
think
gotta
I got
do
to
it.
ship a box. Yeah.
Yeah.
This box has made the rounds. It has been to Chicago. It's been back from Chicago.
It's going back again.
It's been in my guest house. It's been in my main house. It's been back in the guest house. It went into the storage unit. And now it is being shipped back to Chicago for your enjoyment.
Can't wait.
Let's do it, folks.
Come by. Interview in a mini bottle. How does it get any better than that?
Well, it doesn't get better, but we're going to make it happen. All right. And Cam,
All right,
the
Ted.
answer is yes. We will discuss soon.
Yeah.
We have a Calendly now.
We
So-
do.
All right, everybody. Let's have a good night.
Love
And have a
y'all.
great week.
Okay.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Adios.
And that wraps up another podcast for Dentists in the Know. On behalf of Dr. Jennifer Bell, Dr. Chad Duplantis, and myself, remember that we've got a great profession, so let's make it a great day, Dinks.